Hello guys, welcome to episode 2 of Birdly's Budget Barters. Birdly is me, for those who struggle with basic math. So, if you need help with 2 plus 2, want to discuss pineapple on pizza, or want to talk about Tarkov, you can find me streaming on Twitch 6 days a week at the link right here. So, in this episode, we are going to take a look at my favorite level 1 barter, the Russian ADAR 215. The ADAR is accurate, it's cheap, and scavs keep them around as it's their last bottle of vodka. Today we're going to build a super cheap and combat ready ADAR for your early levels and a slightly more expensive but extremely powerful version for your later adventures. In the end, I'm also going to let you in on a little secret on how to transform your cheap ADAR into an M4. This trick is extremely useful for the task called Peacekeeping Mission. You're gonna run around cosplaying as a blue signal light trying to kill scavs all around Tarkov. This task can turn out very expensive in the long run, so having an ace up your sleeve to minimize your losses is always helpful. Anyways, let's get into the business of it all. How do you acquire the cheapest ADAR possible? Well, luckily for us, Skier has run out of rechargeable batteries, and we know how to get our hands on them. These batteries are commonly found in filing cabinets all around Tarkov, or you can grab them for around 13k rubles on the flea market. That's already half the price of an ADAR's market value. But hey, keep in mind that you can only do this barter once per trader reset. Once you have acquired your new ADAR, you're going to want to make some changes. Personally, I'm terrible at using iron sights, so to make the gun slightly more efficient, I like to slap a Cobra EKP 818 reflex sight on it. You can find the sight at Prapper level 2 or simply grab one off the flea market for around 9k rubles. If you have a spare sight laying around in your stash, it's even better. If you decide to use a sight other than the EKP, it's going to give you a problem. The ADAR's gas block has an integrated front sight which blocks most other sights. Simply avoid this by changing the gas block. To do this, you're going to head on over to mechanic level 1 and get your hands on an MK12 gas block for 5k rubles. Apply it to your ADAR and you now have a fully functional gun with a sight for roughly 27k rubles. For mags, I would recommend going with the 30 round Colt AR-15 Stanag mags, as they are usually very cheap on the flea market, or $20 from Peacekeeper level 1. Ammo is a little bit more difficult. Depending on your level with Peacekeeper, I recommend you use at least 855 or 856A1, even if you're going budget. This is because these bullets can penetrate a class 3 face shield. If you have access to Peacekeeper level 3 or Skill level 4, you should always go for 855A1, as these bullets are cheap and extremely effective. And there you have it, a budget ADAR ready to divide some cheeks. I usually use this build a lot in the early stages of a wipe, or as a gun to complete certain tasks. If you want to spend a little more, here is the upgraded version as well. So for our second version, a lot of the options are very subjective. We're not going to go into too much detail on the different parts like a scope or a suppressor. These are purely personal preferences and can be replaced for your own liking. The important part to remember while building a semi-automatic gun in Tarkov is understanding how ergonomics work. Higher ergonomics equals faster ADS and less hand stamina drained while aiming down sights. These are crucial factors when you're using a gun that's mostly used for mid to long range encounters. Vertical recoil also matters, but much less, as your crosshair will adjust more easily between shots compared to a full auto weapon. So the parts I want to talk about are the ones that will give you the most bang for the buck, with ergonomics as our main priority. The parts I use here are the Warsport Elvoa S. You can get it for 10k rubles on the flea market, and it's going to give you 9 ergonomics and minus 1% recoil. For the stock, I'm going with the Magpul PRS Gen 3. It's roughly 14k rubles on the flea market, or $124 from Peacekeeper level 3. It gives you a whopping 16 ergonomics and minus 34% recoil. For a front grip, I'm going with an RK1 from Skier level 3. It's 17.5k rubles and gives you 3 ergonomics and minus 4% recoil. This can also be changed for an RK0, which is going to give you plus 4 ergonomics, and -3% recoil. For a pistol grip, I went with a Hogue over molded rubber grip from Peacekeeper level 3. It's $28 and gives you +9 ergonomics. For the optional parts, I've gone with an NT4 silencer. This is roughly 26k rubles on the flea market, but this can also be changed for a PWS CQB muzzle brake, which you can buy for 10k. For optic, I've gone with the Monstrum Compact Prism Scope. This can of course be changed for any optic of your choice. I like to use lasers, so for the laser, I've gone with the Stainer D-Ball Tactical Flashlight. If you like folding sights for that extra ergonomics, you can also add that. So the total cost of the gun without the optional parts is going to cost you roughly 74k rubles. This is of course with the barter included in the price. With the optional parts, it's going to cost you roughly 135k rubles. Now, as I promised in the beginning of the video, I'll show you a handy trick on how you can transform your ADAR into an M4. The reason we do this is to save some money on tedious tasks like the peacekeeping mission, or just to get an ultra budget M4. To do this, you're simply going to go to mechanic level 2 or search for an M4A1 on the flea market. You're going to grab yourself the stripped version for around 20k rubles. Next up, you're going to take all the parts from your ADAR and put it on the M4. And there you have it. Now you have an M4 in disguise that you more than likely are going to get back on your insurance. And the total cost, 33k rubles. With these 3 different variants, you'll be able to have an upper hand both at the beginning of a wipe and also later on. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, let me know with a thumbs up and then subscribe to the channel for more fun gun builds and Tarkov related content. If you have any questions or have any recommendations on other budget barters I can do, please consider leaving a comment as well. Happy raiding, my friends. Until next time.